It is do or die here in our lower bracket. compLexity versus the Pango, tied up 1-1. Danog, who do you think is moving forward here at ESL One Mumbai?
I'm going to agree a bit more with Blitz's sentiment as opposed to Kyle. I feel like Pango have really taken the better side of this draft. I do agree, if it does go later, we've seen TB have a dominant series in the past, but I just think they've got an answer for everything that compLexity are going to try and throw at them.
Yeah, there's... We saw this Batrider come out super early. It was a little bit ambiguous as to where it was going to be laned up until the very, very end of the draft. Does this look like an okay Batrider game to you?
I think okay is the word that probably sums it up the best. It's not good, it's not bad, you know. It's coming up against a Juggernaut who can always just spin off the sticky napalm. But early on, it's got a pretty long cooldown, so you don't have to worry about that too much. You know, sticky napalm, you can just get right back on him and you know, do exactly what he's doing right now. Trying to pressure Naive as much as possible. 15 seconds until the runes come up. He spotted out Vampire as well, so... to see what Z-Freak decides to do as
what they don't know is 343's here. There's the Paralyzing Cask, and Vampire's super stacked up. He's looking really dead. Naive just going to make his bid for that other bounty rune. And this time around, compLexity are going to secure at least a couple, well, at least one, but unfortunately it's still going to be 3 going the way of the Pango. But they get the first blood.
They get the first blood. And giving it to the Batrider as well, I think is very important, because that's what's really going to accelerate this game. If he's able to get in, pressure heavily.
They're body blocking this man as well. They would very much like to force out this spin, if at all possible.
And there it is.
They managed to. It's a 42-second cooldown at level 1, so... that's really scary for him now. Yep,
force the salve out as well, actually cancelling it. Very nicely done by Z-Freak.
All right, so this mid lane matchup, I don't know if this is really all that interesting. Dragon Knight tends to be fairly boring on his lane. Get some points up in the Dragon's Blood, hit some creeps, do your thing, and then secure some early tier 1 towers. It's a very guaranteed mid-hero.
Yeah, I think it's essentially just, it's not a losing lane, but you're not going to win anything off it. You're really just trying to stall for the rest of your cores on the team.
And up top, Ghostic getting reasonably aggressive. We are seeing some of these lane pull shenanigans. I think that's been much more the MO of the Pango. I don't know if we've really seen that kind of thing from compLexity all that much. And a lot of damage on Limp at mid, actually. Iceberg, can he finish off this kill? Limp, one more auto attack does it. That is a straight up solo kill. Well, didn't think anything interesting was going to be happening. They do get the knockback here onto Vampire at bottom. Nice flame break, and that is going to be yet another kill. It looks like one more touch from Z-Freak. Finishes it off, but that is a really rough start for the mid lane, dying like that.
Yeah, that was the bad touch happening in the bot lane there, but mid going a bit more the way of Iceberg, looking very impressive so far this series.
He's getting a super fast bottle delivered here. 343, just trying to pressure the CS underneath the tower a little bit, but not being too successful.
Legion not having too bad of a time either, already up to 7 last hits, denying a little bit away from the Terrorblade, and I think he'd be very happy with this.
Yep, and they've actually got the root from Slayer, a little bit unexpected. The Skeleton's also charging in here, doing his best Wraith King impression. Yeah. But just forcing 343 all the way underneath the tower. I don't think he dies, but unfortunately not a whole lot that the Terrorblade can do. We saw this in the first game as well. They were going on Z-Freak on the Shadow Shaman, and the Terrorblade just kind of had to sit there and watch.
Yep, but remember how that game ended as well.
That's
it was
true.
compLexity being able to bring it around their way, and a lot of that was on the back of Miracle having an insane time with the last hits. So we'll have to see if it is the same this time around. Ghostic having picked up his boots of speed, so he's going to be constantly harassing both Miracle as well as 343.
Do you have the same read as the panel on this one? Is it the Pango that's a little bit more on the clock for you?
I guess, but I feel like they've got plenty of resources and tools to make sure that they hit that timer. You know, Iceberg's having a good time in the mid lane. He looks to get very, very aggressive. They've got the Shadow Shaman who can push. I don't know. It's a pretty well-rounded lineup. But then
he is really pummeling Limp here.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so close. All right, finally salves up. Needed one more auto attack to finish him off.
Very, very close.
Despite the death, the CS is still pretty close in the mid lane. 13-0 against the 16-3. Slayer getting gone on and doesn't really have a whole lot of armor, so just going to try and rely on juking into the fog, heading up into the trees. They are going to turn around and get this kill onto 343. I don't think Miracle's going to get either of these two kills, and Ghostic's manning up on him, getting a couple of procs. Is this actually going to be yet another kill for the Pango? Slayer's just trying to commit for it. He does lose his life, but Ghostic very happy with the double. What a start for this Legion commander.
Yeah, underestimating the power of that Alpha Wolf aura. You know, the pack leader's aura, as well as the critical strike coming out from the Doom. And a position for Doom doing a lot of work in this early game.
I guess that's the other thing to factor in for the late game here, right? Is that if this goes long enough, the Doom is effectively going to become a core.
Yeah, it becomes a factor. Well, he always is when he's got the Doom itself, but you know, just being able to get those couple of key items, you know, the Blink Dagger, for example, maybe, I think Ashivas is probably a
very cheeky play from 343.
Nicely done.
Oh, there you go. That's really helping out the mid lane. Iceberg getting that regen would have been absolutely brutal for Limp in this situation. He's already eating level 3 Dragon Slaves nonstop.
Yeah. And we've got the level 2 spin on this Juggernaut in the bot lane. Still only level 3 so far. Having a pretty good time is this Bat Rider ahead on both levels and in the net worth chart as well.
What Bat Rider build do you like this game? Are you a big fan of the Boots of Travel? Do you think he needs a fast blink?
I think you'll go the drums first, just because you want to be consistently aggressive, not going for like a team fight initiator build, at least early on. You know, you want to make sure you're taking those towers, diving under them as much as possible, while giving yourself the chance to escape.
Yeah, you kind of at least partially want the move speed build, right? Because you are playing against the Legion commander,
yeah.
So your lasso could get purged, and you need to be ready to still do something in the team fights.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, we had Iceberg rotating down here. He didn't get that regen, but he's still going to get a couple of bottle refills, applying pressure, and DK not interested at all in getting involved in the bouncer in battle. So once again, we will see the Pango securing all 4 of those bounties.
Absolutely. In top lane, Ghostic going in onto the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, 343 taking quite a lot of damage. Z-Freak TP's up here trying for some kind of a turnaround, but the Stomp completely missing. So a bit of a wasted rotation, and knowing that they've left the bottom lane, Death gets gone on very quickly. Firefly also forced out. Not a very fun situation for him, and this top lane for the Pango going fantastically. Level 5 on Ghostic, level 4 on Slayer, and continuing to apply this pressure. Yeah,
easily more last hits than the Terrorblade. He's just having a pretty good time overall. You wouldn't think this early on that it would be so Legion favored. I think it's just going to be a matter of, are they going to be doing a classic thing where they just throw it all away by overextending one too many times?
Yeah, Legion Commander with a good start can be so scary. Z-Freak, once again, they are doing a good job of controlling these runes, but looks like he's going to pay with his life. Takes the Laguna Blade to the face.
Knowing the exact limitations of his hero as well.
Yep.
Just using that to try and climb ahead.
Shackle at bottom, but Naive can't quite get through that range creep, so actually Death's going to turn around on him here. Spin damage coming through. They will end up losing the Shadow Shaman. Death manages to kill the healing ward quickly, but ends up being a 1-for-1.
A little bit of a double-edged sword, that Firefly. You know, useful to be able to get away, but also cuts down the trees to make sure that that Blade Fury is able to just chase him down.
He's actually got the duel ready. Is he going to try and go for this on 3-4-3? Considers it, but now he sees the Spirit. So decides against it. Z-Freak now the target instead. They're doing lots of damage with this Infernal Blade. These auto attacks are just chunking Z-Freak. Face puts back off cooldown soon. Death has respawned, looking to rotate up. And the Sticky starts to stack. The Flame Break is going to push Ghostic back. And Slayer just wants one more creep before he goes down here. Looks like he will eventually be burned.
It's creating a lot of space, though. You know, the rotation having to come through from Death. Now we've got Naive in this bot lane, already pushing up towards the tier 1 tower.
Even the Dragonite running over, and they're looking towards Limp right now. Vampire also in position. Limp's pretty tanky, but they do have the Laguna Blade. Nice rotation from 343, throws out the cast, but unfortunately it bounces to the creeps instead of the Shadow Shaman, so he's still chasing. Z-Freak's still in the area. Limp looking like he is going to get zapped down. A couple more auto attacks is what they need, but he turns around, gets the stun out. Iceberg in some danger. The Shackle's not going to do the damage, I don't think. And Limp ending up surviving. Iceberg trying to TP out over in the trees.
Death found him.
Ooh, he's going to be successful. Death, meanwhile, has found out. Vampire, they do get the lasso out over onto Ghostic. Still chasing. And Firefly just about to run out. Though Shaman might still be dead in this situation. We'll see.
Be careful for the duel as well.
Yep. He's got the stick charges coming off cooldown soon. Actually, the duel keeping him alive. He's going to try and get into the fog. Duel just to save his support, but
still chasing Vampire.
Yeah, he's still looking very dead at this stage. Ghostic, can he finish this kill, though? Nice flame break back. And the salve now coming through.
Oh, nearly body blocking his own teammate there with Z-Freak, but Death able to slink on away.
Okay, so these have been some kind of weird engagements. It's a pretty bloodthirsty game. 11 kills already, 8 minutes in, but it does seem like the Pango getting slightly the better of it, 3K net worth lead. This has been the story of the whole series, it feels like. Pango with a good start. Haste Rune is the prize for one of these two mid heroes, and it is going to be Limp who ends up grabbing it. They're now looking towards the Lina. The lasso was already used. Laguna Blade gets thrown out, and it's actually a double kill for Iceberg. Out of nowhere, the nukes are way too much. Vampire in a great position. Now they're going to go for the Shackle. They do have pretty good lockdown. This haste, is it going to be enough to keep him alive? The duel's actually back off cooldown, and this is going to be our first winner of the game. 10 damage for the Legion Commander.
Just roasting the entire team of compLexity there with Iceberg. Again, having a fantastic time. I think the big difference so far is this Doom. He was already level 5 before that encounter, where all the other supports were only level 3. Just the impact that he's having, already picking up the Doom itself at 9 minutes, and he's looking to make an impact straight away.
The 3-point Scorched Earth actually did a ton of damage in that fight. He did almost the same amount of damage as the Lina did.
Yeah.
And this aura is actually just ridiculous. It's making the Legion Commander look like such a strong hero, and you look at the overall damage dealt. The Doom is right up there.
Just full-on aggression. 5 seconds until this duel is up in the top lane. I think he's just waiting it out.
Oh no!
Oh,
is he gonna get the TP off in time? The duel just comes off cooldown. So close. Okay. So we talked about the Batrider build a little bit. Seems like Lina is going for an Atos this game. It's become a very common mid item on pretty much everybody at this point. Do you like this over, say, the Yules or something like that?
I mean, it gives him that little extra pick-off. Oh, actually using the Omni Slash onto death.
The death is fairly tanky. Is this actually going to be a kill? Miracle now waiting over here with the Sunder. They get the lasso up, but Miracle's actually being controlled, and Naive just walking away. The Bouncy Rune will be his prize. Can they get the Stomp to land on him? Nope, both of them dodging it once again. Poor old Vampire just putting his life on the line. Is going to buy his Aether Lens recipe before he dies, so it doesn't lose any gold.
He did exactly what he needed to. He stalled that out for long enough. He forced the full rotation to come out from compLexity minus the Dragon Knight, who is still getting gone on. Like, look, he's getting harassed by a position 4 Doom.
Again, Limp is like right in the, well, he's below the middle of the net worth chart.
Yeah.
In the previous games, at least, they had the top 4. 3 of them were the Pango. We had Miracle doing okay. This time around, it's Death, and all 3 of the Pango cores are ahead of their counterparts on the compLexity side.
Falling behind a little bit, particularly on this TB, right? I hate to go back and sound like a broken record. Although Death.
Oh, they really want this kill. They're going to go to the duel. They're stacking their disables a little bit, trying for the damage. Naive trying to figure out how exactly he's supposed to actually hit this Batrider. Can't do it.
Just a bit of miscommunication there. Doom actually being used in mid lane, though.
All right. Limp in some danger, but I think he's actually going to be okay. 3-4-3, probably not so lucky. Oh my god, that auto attack from Slayer.
Pretty devastating, having that double damage this early on, doing about 260 damage per right click. Plus the aura.
Yeah, we talk about it. Vlad's is super popular. Vengeful Spirit seems to be rising in popularity. And Doom is another one of these heroes that can, well, he can carry auras that like nobody else can.
Yeah,
this early on in the game with the...
He's building into the Vlads as well, getting closer and closer towards it. Even just having the Ring of Basilius is going to do so much for the sustainability of his team, just that little bit of extra armor, not needing to go back to base so often. And I feel like this is about the time that Pango are really going to start to group up as a team, push as a full unit. You've got the drums, you've nearly got the Vlads, Juggernaut's having a great time farming. He is going this Battle Fury build, I think, unless he's just cancelled out of it. I think he might have just gone away from it.
I think he can just go for a stats-based build this game, to be honest, especially with the Doom amping him up the way that he is. They are going to go for Naive here. Doesn't quite manage to get the spin off. It's a decent amount of damage. Nice chain stun, but the spin's going to be coming, and that might be the end of it for this attempt. He just spins away.
Oh, this is not looking good for Cole. Like, we are 12 minutes in, and it's an 8K net worth lead so far for Pango, and they're pushing the tier 2 tower at top.
Yeah, and seemingly no answer whatsoever from compLexity. They just showed 3 heroes at bottom. They're trying to trade a little bit, but none of these heroes that are down here really pushing that fast, at least not yet. The Metamorphosis isn't going to get popped as they also try and chase for something over on the top side of the map.
Yeah, just looking to increase their kill potential even further, about 900 gold away from the Blink Dagger on the LC. That's going to just create even more chaos for them. Just two ways of catch, essentially.
Yeah. Ghost 6 down here. They're going to try and defend and probably get the deny on this tower. Naive also running forward. Miracle, he's pretty lumbering. He's pretty slow on this Terrorblade. They're going to throw out the Omnislash. He does have very high armor, but Ghost closes the gap, and looks like there's going to be some more dual damage. Oh, no. This is
not good.
This is not looking great.
NA Dota,
Like
I'm sorry, but this is not looking good. I mean, Iceberg actually had his TP cancelled by a Z-Freak Echo Stomp there. So he was actually able to just stay in the mid lane.
He's got the root
farming
on to Z-Freak. 343 just gets immediately Lagooned and now running forward. The Paralyzing Cask helping them out a little bit. Limp pops into the Dragon form. They do get the stomp off as well. There's Splitter coming through. Vampire also in the area, trying to back up his team, but they just don't have the follow-up damage. They're even going to look for some more kills. Ghostic's still very tanky. Iceberg needs to be careful of the tower, but they will get the DK kill. And compLexity just can't seem to punish them. They know that the Metamorphosis is on cooldown as well, and that means that they've got a completely blank check to just keep doing whatever they want in this game.
Absolutely. They just feel so disconnected from each other, compLexity. I mean, look at Pango. They're rotating through together as a team. They're leaving Naive on his own, but making sure that he's got the vision to make sure he survives.
Naive is just solo running at 343 at the moment. 343 doesn't even have boots. Is he just going to get auto-attacked to death? Not quite. TPs get forced. Nice, easy play. Keep using the Serpent Wards.
Yep. Dota doesn't have to be that difficult, right? Like, it's a difficult game, but just do the basics right, and you're going to win a lot of the time. Ghostic getting very, very close to picking up his Blink Dagger now, about 200 gold or so away. So just furthering that pick-off potential. Bounty Rune's coming up as well.
Just press your spells at the right time.
Yep.
And,
easy game, easy life.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly. Is there comeback potential for Call here? In the first game, we had this Ember picked intentionally into a bad matchup, but it was a good hero for the overall game. How do you think the Dragon Knight, can he get back into this game, do you think?
I mean, what's he itemizing? He's got nothing.
He's going for a blink.
But what does that do? You know?
Yeah, it's getting gone on right now. Vampire's coming in, looking for a little bit more lockdown. Limp needs to juke heavily to get out of this, and he's already been hexed up. Stun connecting. Ghostic coming over. They want a little bit of extra dual damage, and they will get just that.
With the Blink Dagger, you know, queue up from the Dragon Knight, I don't think he's honestly had trouble stunning heroes, right? Or getting in and trying picking people off. They're on the back foot. So I think he needs to try and accelerate his farm right now. It's a 14k net worth lead at less than 16 minutes.
He's bottom 3 net worth.
Yep.
This entire game has just been all Pango all the time. They've gotten a few little kills in towers. Well, not even any towers. It's just kills smattered in there.
Yep. He needs the ability to be able to farm, but you know, credit to the Pango.
Farm
They've got
where?
some great vision. Yeah, exactly. They've got great vision all throughout the bottom side of the map. That's where they want to make sure the enemy team isn't. They've got a good confidence with Vampire sitting there to break any sort of smokes that might be coming through while they just take the Roche. You know, yes, they're going to scout it out with this Elder Titan Spirit, but I don't think it'll be enough for them to be able to turn it around. And that's the first Roshan going the way of the Pango.
Do you feel as though the Pango are playing especially well this game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just that they've outdrafted or anything. They're really...
Well, they understand what their draft means.
Yeah. Oh, they're jumping in. They found Limp. Once again, he's right next to the shrine, but he's not going to get the chance to use it. Too many nukes and too much dual damage building up already. Got 40. And are they just going to head straight to the high ground? They do have the Mass Serpent Wards.
They got him up online. You've got a very strong
net worth
commander.
We're almost at that metric, Danog, the 1k net worth advantage per minute of game time.
It's never a good sign.
Total stomp. Win probability already 98%. What do they do? They're throwing a few stickies. They're kind of looking at him.
I mean, they just have to wait until the Dragon Knight's back alive, but by then, Pango will probably be able to escape.
He's up. They're thinking about just going on him, though. The Omnislash gets thrown into the backlines. Limp, he's normally a pretty tanky hero, does still survive. They will manage to get the lasso onto the Jug underneath the tier 4 towers. They're using their base to their advantage. Miracle does manage to get the ultimate off, but they're still surviving. They get the healing ward out. They do end up losing the Doom, and it looks like the melee barracks will be successfully defended. Though the Pango thinking about the turnaround. Ghostic goes in, duel thrown out, and Miracle just going to drop to the nuke from Vampire. Gets the Hex, looking for a little bit more. Oh, that overwhelming odds from the Legion Commander doing so much damage. And looks like the Pango are here to stay. This is their base, and they're going to take that first lane of Rax.
Just devastating. Actually interrupting the TP away.
Okay, but that's actually baiting Z-Freak a little bit here. It looks like he's just going to end up dying.
That's rough. That is rough. And you never want to look at your net worth graph. Obviously, the players can't see it, but still in
I don't want to look
position.
at it.
Yeah, it's not looking ideal for him. He's still got this blink dagger. Like, again, what does it do? You need more damage right now to try and push them away.
There's no one item that's going to solve the issues.
No, but it's a stepwise process, right?
Yes.
You can't just slowly whack away at a creep wave, wait for your 11-second breathe fire to come back so you can nuke it down. Like, what does that do? Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they picked this Witch Doctor early. The panel and we were also super dubious of the Witch Doctor in the previous game, and then compLexity take it here, and it also once again just doesn't really work out.
Yeah.
On the one side, you've got Shadow Shaman with his Serpent Wards, and on the other, you've got poor old Witch Doctor with his Death Ward, and I know which one I'd rather have on my team.
Absolutely, and they are again pushing towards this top side of the map. Mass Serpent Wards back up online again, even closing in on his own Blink Dagger, but I think this game might be done before then.
And they've picked up a few more items. They've got this S and Y on the Jug. He's still got 2 minutes left on the Aegis. And he's just going to sit here and chop wood on the tier 3 and dare compLexity to do anything about him. We've got Terrorblade farming over in the Radiant jungle. We've got Batrider pushing the bottom tier 2 tower. And compLexity just look totally lost. Limp is going to pop the Dragon Form, try and clear up these Mass Serpent Wards at least a little bit.
They've got the Blink Dagger on the Batrider now, so they're going to try and pick someone out. They need the Terrorblade there to be able to follow up on it, though.
Do you just have to wait until the Aegis fades and then try and kill the Jug right as that happens?
I don't know. They might be looking to go on to someone like...
Oh, no. Limp just a little bit too far forward. He's going to get doomed. He gets ridden. He gets stunned up. He's gone. Iceberg beyond godlike. They are jumping into the backlines. They're looking for Ghostic. Can they bring him down? Nice Earth Splitter coming through, but Miracle tanking up a lot of damage. Omni-Slash bouncing around. They do end up losing the Doom. Ghostic also falling. Buyback from Limp, but he's getting spun down, and that's a dieback for him. Beyond godlike for Iceberg as he looks for more kills, but a nice blink in from Death. He keeps getting those sticky stacks up, but Naive is just too strong at this point in the game. Able to keep on charging forward. They get another Shackle onto 343. Miracle trying to fight, but looks like he's only going to end up getting through the Aegis and will lose his life. Ultra kill for Iceberg. Can he get this Rampage?
Give him the Rampage.
Come on, Death. Iceberg looking to close it out. Buyback as well from Z-Freak. They give him the Rampage. And the crowd goes absolutely crazy. What a performance from Iceberg here in this game. And the GG is called.
Oh. Just complete dominance from start to finish.
Yep.
From the draft to the laning stage to everything beyond that. You know, they had everything. They had catch, they could siege high ground, they had burst damage. Just crazy, crazy good.
What a comeback as well. Game 1 looked good in the early game. A fairly grueling loss. The draft, I think they were confident about it, but then they come back, get the reverse sweep. That's got to be a lot of confidence moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cole curse continues. Winning that game 1 and then games 2 and 3 just falling by the wayside.
So difficult. So we now have Pango moving forward. They're going to be playing against Keen later on.
I believe so, yeah.
And that's not going to be today. They are going to get a little bit of a break, a bit of time to prepare, get those strategies ready to rock and roll. But unfortunately, that does mean we are going to be saying goodbye to our second team here at ESL One Mumbai, with compLexity departing in tied 7th, 8th place.
It's unfortunate. I'm sure they would have had higher expectations for themselves. Maybe they're using this as a bit of a training ground of sorts as they prepare for the major, but can't really do that at this stage, I don't think.
Right. So I talked about some of their group stage games a little bit. Said that maybe it was a sort of a drafting and itemization problem. Do you feel like that was still the hindrance here in this series, or?
Somewhat. I mean, the draft, as we were saying, it was kind of more favored towards the Pango in that third game, probably in the second game as well. They just didn't have all of the aspects that really gel a team together entirely. So the itemization as well, I kept harping on about it, but how is a DK supposed to get farm if you have no items? I think he had a bracer and boots, and that's about it.
So. Yeah, just that first death, getting solo killed, I think that's a little bit of a misplay, but then at the same time, they had some later ganks coming in. The other lanes were just going so fantastically that they could collapse on mid and just completely destroy Lib time and time again. You talk about Dragon Knight being this consistent tier 1 tower taker, and I think Terrorblade is on that list as well of like, you pick these heroes, you're expecting to take the tier 1 towers, you're expecting to get the guaranteed farm, but just didn't end up happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is Pango moving forward, and we're going to head to the main stage with Eri, who's got a member of the winning team.
I am here with Ghostly, taking the 2-1 win over compLexity. Pango, you guys were down one game. It was 1-0. What particular things did you guys learn from game one, and how did you guys exactly adjust?
We just realized that with Rosa's game, our first game, we had a good draft, good chance to win, but we just threw because of the first game, you know, like a little bit shaky for us. But then we like speak a little bit outside, and we did great.
Were you guys at all shaken from that loss, or did you guys just snap back out of it and just decided to get back to it?
No, we just realized that it was only our fault that we lost, and it was okay for us.
Would you think Doom was basically the key to winning this entire series?
I think so, yes. At some time I realized that I can first pick this hero and switch him to another position, and it's gonna be great.
Very, very nice. You know what? I noticed you guys walking in here, you guys were high-fiving all the fans over here. How do you feel about the Indian atmosphere right now?
Yeah, I'm enjoying. Indians fans are great. You're great, guys. Yeah.
Definitely great, and a great performance as well, sir. Ghostly from Pango, they move on to the next stage. Thank you very much, Mumbai. We have our final series after this. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks very much to Axis Lax on coming a little bit later on. Obviously, thanks to Eri on the stage for the interview this time around. Disappointing, gents, as far as compLexity is concerned, but kind of foreboding as well, because we mentioned right at the beginning, you said, yeah, they tend to win these first games and then lose the next two, and it's exactly what's happened here. I'm not sure whether you agree with what Ghostic was saying, though, in the interview, when he said that they kind of threw the first game, because I thought compLexity played well in that first game.
Yeah, I thought so, too. I felt like you could argue, sure, you made mistakes, but, again, you had so many tools on the Cole side to win that game.
Yeah.
And the lanes, yeah, Ember's matchup was bad, but he was great for the game. Meanwhile, game 3, you have Bat, early pick, you're laning him against Jug. You have Terrorblade against LC. Like
it was a bad draft, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Limp dies mid. You lose all 3 lanes. How do you win the game?
Yeah, well, bad draft.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't make any excuses for the last one, right?
Yeah, that's me to give you the numbers.
Yeah.
I heavily favored Pango's draft. I felt like I didn't really know what the point of Cole's lineup was. Like, I didn't know what point the game they were going to be stronger. I guess like if they get a 6-slotted TB, like Kyle said, but like they were just going to get outpaced.
I mean, they wanted to go late, didn't they?
Yeah, but in this meta, especially, I think like it's hard to just go like, okay, we're going to go for these like 40, 50-minute games, especially with the speed at which teams are playing and like taking objectives. Teams nowadays like are so good about doing things like Roshan. Now we take mid-tier 1, now we take mid-tier 2. Like they're very good at marching down objectives, and you saw it in this game especially. They they couldn't really pressure the Jug. I remember there was one sequence of events where it was near the Jug's bottom tower in the neutral camp. They use the Witch Doctor Maledict with the Batrider ult, and then he just spins out TPs in front of 3 heroes. Like, cool.
It's, you look at the openers. Doom, Rasta, arguably the best heroes for the 3 and 4 position in the opener. Meanwhile, Cole have a Batrider, Witch Doctor, heroes that, while they're somewhat valued, like Bat is great in good Bat games, but in a game like this, where you're going against a cleanse and a carry you can't pressure, what's your purpose? He's still the most hero damage, but what's that really matter in a game you lose in 25 minutes?
Yeah, quite. I mean, 20k gold lead at 20 minutes. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you come back from that.
Yeah, you just can't fight with your lineup.
Also, we had the DK. What did he have at the end? A brace and boots?
Something like that. He was an ace.
It's pretty sad, actually. You're like kind of like, well, he's not going to be able to fight. Not much you can do about it. That said, let's look at the positive side of it, because the Pango, they played the draft really well, and they played exactly how they needed to play in that third game.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they, especially after game 1, like it's easy to just like lose those game 1s, you got outdrafted. But game 2 and 3, they learned their lessons, which I think is really hard to do in a best-of-3 series, because you have very limited time to like go over stuff. But they were like, guys, like all we have to do, we pick this Doom, it looks really good. Why don't we just do it twice in a row? They end up doing it. They have a mass form of initiation. They counterpick the cores. Easy peasy.
Okay. We're going to get more from both of our panel members in just a moment, but first of all, let's hear from one of the defeated players in Team compLexity. 343 is with Sir Action Slacks right now.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. Ladies and gentlemen, got 343 here, who has been nice enough to grace us with an exit interview. Before we get started, I don't know if you know how many fans you have out there, so I just want to give them a chance. Can we get a little bit of fan yelling for our boy from compLexity? Yes, all right. So anyway, I want to talk to you about that series, just in general. What do you think went wrong for you guys?
I think, let me see. I think in the first game we had a bad draft. I think they messed up with the first pick. I think in the second game what happened was it was the last pick Storm where we had like no lockdown. I think we played a lineup where we were like slightly uncomfortable with the SF. We didn't expect them to play a Storm. They have like no history of it recently. That's on me, I guess. I think in game 3 I'm not sure what happened, honestly. We just messed up lanes hard, I think. I don't think like we should have done that badly in the laning phase. And from there I think it was just really hard to play.
Understandable. No outside factors or anything? You guys aren't feeling tired from the jet lag or nerves from the audience? It was just all gameplay?
Maybe on the first day that's like an excuse, but I think after that it's our own fault, if anything.
Understandable. Very good. So this is a bummer, of course. You guys are out of the tournament, but you do have a major coming up here. That's correct. Feeling excited for that? What's going to change from now until then?
I think we're going to go boot camp in, I'm not sure where, probably Europe, pre-Paris, and hopefully we fix a lot of our stuff. Coming into this event, I think we were or at least like the way we played the major, I think anything below top 4 at this event was a disappointment, but we obviously have a lot of stuff to fix in the meantime, and I'm just glad we have time to do it before the major.
Absolutely, and we need to hear it here as NA Dota fans. Is this the end of NA Dota, or is this just the beginning before the major, Haas?
Oh, this is where the rugby ball comes into play. Hit me. No, they let me down.
The team has let you down. I don't play rugby. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm sure it was good. Give me this up. All right, things will be different soon. Thank you for your time, and we'll see more from 343 and everybody else at compLexity later at the major.
Thanks very much, gents. Yeah, and thanks, Adam, for taking the time to talk to us as well. I think he's slightly... he's got that slightly wrong with the rugby thing. If he'd said, throw me an NFL ball, maybe he would have been hit.
It's called a football or a pigskin.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. Yeah. I was trying to make the distinction between the two sports.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of different footballs.
Yeah. I think they're just, all those kind of sports are just, sports played by men with odd-shaped balls.
Yeah. Pretty much all sports, really.
Well, I mean, most football sports are played by a rounded ball. That's the real football, because we use our feet.
The Australians here are all about the Australian Football League.
Don't get me started on that side.
Actually fantastic.
Don't get me started on that side. Instead of delving down into sports psychology, which we could probably do on this panel with the 3 members that we've got here, let's check in with Purge and see what he's got from game number 3.
Very happy Paul led me in with that super boring analogy. Let's talk about the game. As you can see from Iceberg, he's got something going for him here. It's a platinum medal, if I'd ever click on him again. Very good player. And one thing that he did was constantly contested last hits. Stole this deny from Limp here, and then did something a little interesting. Moved to the high ground, started hitting Limp to contest for the range creep, which he ended up taking, and then he just got a solo kill, picking up level 2, 3 right clicks, and that's going to be the first blood that he ended up getting in the mid lane. And then from there, he still didn't make it easy, constantly stunning just for denying last hits. Next creep wave comes forward and he does the same thing, constantly right-clicking Limp, making sure that the creeps are battling him, but that's fine because he's getting free right-clicks in. Hitting, and if Limp wants to get a last hit, he just keeps getting auto-attacked. Here's the Dragon Slave, 3 HP here, almost dies a second time, and Iceberg continues laning. On the top lane, Ghostic ends up getting a double kill. They chase the Witch Doctor into the trees. Everybody, they also have the Alpha Wolf aura. That's a 20% damage bonus for both of their heroes right now, and that means that they're able to contest Miracle in lane, and then he just can't really feel safe going there. So what ends up happening is Iceberg gets another kill at the top rune, finding Z-Freak, and then if we take a peek at the top lane right after this, it's basically just a Legion sitting in the lane with a Witch Doctor sapping experience. Over in the jungle, here's Miracle. He's jungling because that's all he can do at this point. So they just completely got dumpster in their lanes. The only thing that was going well for them was the Batrider on the bot lane, who did get a bunch of kills, but a farmed Batrider isn't going to be enough to win a game.
I love the fact that the crowd shout, "Thanks, Purge, seems good," right after he's finished. Good job, crowd. Some great little tidbits in there. From especially, I love the mid lane stuff, but it's just little things, isn't it, that can make such a big difference.
Yeah, it always is. It's especially as the skill cap in Dota's increased. I'm saying this for years. Like, no longer can one player just take over a game. It's more about your little decisions. What starting items do you buy? How do you skill? How does it fit into what your team is doing? What's your power spike? What's your win condition? You've got to always be thinking. It's a very cerebral game nowadays.
Yeah.
And it shows.
It is. Fantastic as well. Nice to get a Storm Spirit game in the middle of this series, Will. I know you always enjoy one.
Oh, I love free Storm games.
Yeah.
And that was one of the free Storm games.
Fairly free-ish.
It was really
Was it?
Yeah.
Overall, Pango deserved the win. Played much better over the series, of course, and that's why they've won 2-1. Disappointed for compLexity. They're going to have to bounce back now because they've got a major to play, and that's the, as Adam rightly said, that's the thing they've got to focus on right now. How do they bounce back from this?
Practice.
Is it just as simple as that now? Head down, get in the game.
I feel like they need to also flesh out a bit more about what it is they do well and to get more of a plan into their drafts. Like, I hate the Game 3 opener. Again, you look, Pango keep it simple. Hey, these two heroes have been owning in the meta. They've been owning in the series. Let's just first pick the Doom and go Rasta. Cole tries to get fancy with two heroes that just simply aren't good, and they don't even match up well against what Pango was looking to do. Just I don't know.
Yeah, well, hopefully lesson learned. We're going to take a look at the 4 selections right now up for grabs in the Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel Power Play selections. Your chance to send in one of your favourite clips for Purge to break down. Now, which one of these 4 do you think he's going to want to break down a little later on in the show? In fact, it will come up after the next break. This is the first clip, gents. Do you want to chip in on any of these?
Well, the first is nice. It's just a really cool shard play.
Nice big team fight in the second one.
Yeah, I think this was just Limp escaping, yeah. I mean, this is it feels, it's a little like Pena, but it isn't, because it's actually just him being incredibly elusive.
Yeah.
Which one was this? The big ice path? No, that's probably the next one. Nope, this is just the tower dive. I don't know. I'd probably have to give it, there's no Aegis steal in here? It's only from this series?
Yep.
Okay. I probably...
He did Aegis steal earlier on. Are you paying attention?
I was. Mostly, I would give it to that one again, but you know, it's up to the fans.
You just want to see the Aegis steal again.
Yeah.
You want to see him break it down a different way, second time around. Well, that wasn't part of the vote, but you can vote on any of those 4, so make sure you do get your vote in on that, and we'll see that from Purge a little later on. We've also got some special stuff coming up as well very shortly from Sir Action Slack, as you would expect at every single ESL One that the man attends. Time for us to take a break here, though, and when we come back, we'll be headed towards series number 3. Stay tuned.
They're now looking towards the lead, but the last one was already used. Laguna Blade gets thrown out. It's actually a double kill for Iceberg. Out of nowhere, the nukes are way too... He's gone. Iceberg beyond godlike. They are jumping into the backlines. They're looking for Ghosting. Can they bring him down? Nice Earth Splitter coming through, but Miracle taking up a lot of damage. Omni Slash bouncing around the